morning, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Diamond Factor Experience Show with yours truly, Barbara Beckley, and experts. I think I might just be changing the title of this show because I'm always saying that. And I always tell people it is so important to collaborate with others to make sure that you're moving towards what you're trying to towards too, and them. So, saying all that, I have a quote because I have a quote regarding that because I'm thinking this is December 21st. So we just have just maybe a week and a few days before 2021. And every year, every year when the year passes, you hear all these people saying I got to get my goals together. Or, I have to make a resolution and I have to lose the weight, or I have to, make sure I make this certain amount of money, or, I had to plan this and plan this. And I'm always saying to myself, it's an ongoing thing. Just because it's turning another year, that doesn't mean it's like all of a sudden you're just like in this freeze mode to say, okay, I got to get everything going. This should have been going on way before 2021. And I know this has been kind of a challenging year. I'm going to say challenging because everybody's taking this year a little different perspective. Some people are like, oh my God, 2020, it sucks. Then some people are saying, oh wow, you know what? I have really learned a lot and I have been growing and I have been seeing other opportunities. So this year's been kind of a blessing in some areas. And then some people are kind of like in the middle, like, eh. And then they're like, well, yeah, some things did happen. So you might be in the three categories. You have to pick and choose that. But I'm always saying overall that you always, what I always say in here, you have to keep that inner peace in you. And that's why I was called the PPD. Your purpose, passion, drive is your foundation, because that moves you, whatever's going on around here, outside of your world. That shouldn't stop you from motivating you from moving forward and what you're doing in your goals. You might have to tweak some things. You might have to look at some things a little bit differently, but you should never just stop. I always tell people it's one thing to sit by the sidelines of life, it's another thing to stay in the race, no matter how you're going. If it's slow, if you're crawling, whatever, long as you're in the race still and you're not on the sidelines saying, look at everybody saying, oh, well, I'm just watching them go. No, never, never. So this quote that I pulled up because it is regarding motivation. Motivation gets you going and habits get you there. So you could be motivated and be like, yeah, let's do this. But if you continuously take on a habit forming process, it gets you to that goal that you're trying to get to. So saying all that, just because 2021 is coming up in a little few weeks, you keep the motivation that you've been motivating every single day of your life. Just keep it going through 2021 because that's going to create a habit, and that habit's going to create you getting towards your goals of what you need to go to. No matter what day it is, no matter what year it is, you're going to get to that goal because it's on your timing and not the timing of a calendar or somebody telling you, okay, you better do it. 2021 is coming around the corner. I mean, already when I even said that, I feel like pressure. I don't want no pressure. Just ease on in there. So with that, let's get started. I am so excited. Here we go. Whew, I know, I know. I always rock to the music every time I come on. I tell you, I put that as my alarm now when I get up in the morning. Every morning, because that gets me going. And sometimes just to say that, you need to find something that gets you going in the morning. If it's a song, if it's somebody giving you inspirational coaching, or if it's your favorite speaker, put that on your phone and let it start your day. Sometimes it's meditation, sometimes you have to be silent. Some people like a lot of noise in the morning. It really depends on you. So I would suggest that you find something that moves you and motivates you and gets you going, because some mornings are not going to be the same. I know I'm not like a morning person, but I used to say that all the time. I stopped saying that because I told myself, I said, okay, if I keep saying what I can't do or what I don't want to do, then it's going to habit again. It's going to form in a negative way. So I tell myself, you know what? I'm good in the morning. I'm excited in the morning. I'm ready to go in the morning, ready to charge up, ready to move forward. And you know what? It's been easier for me getting up earlier than I used to. I used to be like 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm wait. Now it's like I get up around 6 or 7 and I'm not feeling so tired like I used to, because my words, I started putting the words out there to say, no, I am not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm not a morning person. And of course, if you say it, you're not going to be a morning person. So with that said, I know I can keep going on and on, but I want to leave all the expertise and the skills and everything to Mr. Iqbal this morning, because I know he always has some wonderful things for us this month, this every Monday. I just love listening to him, and he knows that. He inspires me, and I hope he's inspiring everybody out there. And I want you all to know too that please let us know if you have any questions, that he had, because he's given a lot of good information. But if you have questions, he is here to answer those questions for you. He's talking a lot about personal branding and understand how to go out there and really be ready to go for a job, or even if you're going for a certain business opportunity. It doesn't necessarily have to be a job, but he shows you in those ways how to make sure that you're prepared for that. And it's so important, especially right now, that you get those tips and understand how to move forward in that. So if you have questions, you can always put them in the comments. You can always send them to me. Showyourdiamond@gmail.com. That is my email address. And I'll make sure that he gets them, and then he can answer those questions when he comes on Monday. So we want to make sure that we're giving you value. I'm always saying I don't like to come on anywhere and don't give any value. And believe me, Mr. Iqbal gives value. So we're going to go to a sponsor, and then we're going to go straight to Mr. Iqbal, and let's learn some tips today. Here we go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Monday, and I'm hoping everybody has had a phenomenal week. I always love listening to Barbara's quotes, and I'm always impressed by how she phrases things, because now I've started to think, what music do I need to put on my alarm clock to get me started off in the right mood? Barbara, kudos to you for that. But let me start off with just by number one, welcoming you all to the show. Thank you for being a part of this episode. Today, I want to take us way back. I want to go back into a memory of mine that started me thinking about what expertise or what topic of expertise do I want to share with you today. And I started to think about, when I was a little kid, watching my mom bake. That was pretty important to me because my mom was a really good baker. She would bake cakes, cookies, pies, brownies. And, unfortunately, I did put on a lot of weight when I was a kid, but I was fascinated with the way that she would create things. She was really good at being able to organize and put out all of the ingredients for her recipe and then start putting things together, mixing things, baking things, putting them in the oven. And then the product at the end was always just magnificent. And when I was a kid, that was something that I aspired to do. I wanted to be a baker. I wanted to learn how to cook things. And, when you're 8 years old, there's not really much you can do. You're really not allowed in the kitchen because you're young and you might, stumble and fall. But as you get older and you start expressing an interest, there are opportunities where somebody may say, hey, come here, let me help you, help me bake this cake, mix these eggs together or put this together. As I entered high school, of course, I got older, right? And I had more access to the kitchen. And I would go through my mom's recipes looking for things that I would say, ooh, I want to make that today. And the first time I tried it, it tasted like garbage. I ended up making a batch of chocolate chip cookies 3 times in a row, and I threw them all in the garbage because my skills as a baker sucked. And it wasn't a surprise. It's the first time I've made it. But I didn't let that stop me. In fact, what I ended up doing was going out to the store, buying more ingredients, and then meticulously re examining the steps that I took in the process of baking those cookies and tweaking it and getting better and better and better. Fast forward 40 years, most people know me as the salted caramel brownie guy. That's like one of my signature dishes. And it's something that I take great pride in because over time, I've learned to not only learn those skills, but develop them over and over again in the kitchen. And now I share those products and the things that I bake with others. What does this have to do with my career? What does this have to do with my professionalism? What does this have to do with anything that we do today? Well, folks, as a talent acquisition director and now as a consultant, I always remind people today that no matter what we're talking about, whether it's baking in the kitchen or applying for jobs or really just becoming a better professional, people out there are looking at you and for you for a variety of skills that you need to be able to operate in today's technologically advanced and business-based world. But we find that sometimes we're stuck in a position where either we don't have a mentor that can help us develop those skills, we don't have access to the training, and then we also don't have an environment where we can practice these things. So especially this year, like Barbara pointed out, the world has been turned upside down. And in traditional settings where you might be working in an office, there were still certain training courses and programs that you could take, and there were still certain venues that you could participate in to be able to try and develop those skills. Well, the world has changed, but those needs are still there. In fact, there's a recent study out right now on LinkedIn that shows that 2021 not only is going to show a rebound in hiring, but it's also going to surpass last year, 2019 hiring figures as well. Are you prepared? Are you ready to find those skills that you don't already have or strengthen the skills that you have today to prove yourself to be a viable candidate for a new position or a promotion within your company, or simply just to help other people become better at what they are and showcase and forward an organization that you either support or work for? We're going to answer all of those questions today. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, good morning. My name is Iqbal Acha. I'm a career consultant, a leadership coach, and a personal branding expert. For over the last 20 years, I've been helping Fortune 500 companies, small businesses, and nonprofits attract new audiences, hire talented people, and develop a new generation of leaders. Today, I help students, professionals, and executives advance their career, build a better brand, and create a leadership legacy. So today, again, we're talking about skills and skills development. If you think about centuries ago, there were no formal colleges. There were no formal programs that you had to enroll in and study and take a test. It was all based on apprenticeship and mentorship. Physicians did not have a formal medical school in 1850. They literally had to go and work with another physician to be taught and trained how to do that. There are still today trade programs that work in that same capacity, where as a blacksmith, as an HVAC technician, or a plumber, you can literally go and train with a certified professional to learn those skills. However, in the majority of the people that I speak with and my clients today, they're not really working with their hands. They're working with their minds and their creativity, and they're working in organizations that require a lot of interpersonal conversations. I was reading a really great book this past week, and it's one of my favorites. It's by Marshall Goldsmith, and it's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And one of the clearest lines in that book to me was, the higher up you go in an organization, it all becomes about behavioral skills. It's not about your technical skills, because every chief financial officer, every CFO, every director in finance, every VP in finance, they have all know how to balance a budget, read a profit and loss statement, and do things with money. Like, that's an understood. But the higher up you go, the behavioral skills, the interpersonal skills, those become more prominent. And it's critical that we as professionals, we as aspiring leaders, we as entrepreneurs, we have a tendency to be able to rely on what we already know and showcase that as the reason why you should work for us. The reality is that the world is changing. And so we need to be able to learn new skills in order to be able to adapt to the technologically advanced or business based or even clinically minded environments that we're working in. So where can we go and find and learn new skills? So let's start there, right? First, we have to be able to identify what skills we need, and secondly, where we can find them. Now, if you're working in, for example, if you're a business-minded person, or if you're working for a company and you're saying, "Hey, I've been at this level, I want to move to the next level. I want to manage a team." Right? I want to be able to have supervisory responsibility where, for example, I have a team of 5 and we're all working towards the same goal. Again, the behavioral piece is going to be critical. And what are companies looking for? If you ever take a look at a job description, you'll see several key skills that are listed in the responsibilities, because that's what they're looking for in an ideal candidate. They typically include performance management, change management, conflict resolution, results oriented, sales and marketing in some cases. Some of these are hard skills, some of these are soft skills. The interpersonal skills we'll talk about second. But first, I want to talk about where you can learn new skill sets that are applicable in today's world. Again, most of us have been locked down for quite a while. In my case, I have 3 elderly parents that I take care of. They're all over 80, and I'm certainly not going to put them at risk. So I've been, basically stuck inside my home office for almost a year. But that has not stopped me from learning new skills. In fact, the internet is and can be and is a blessing. So as Barbara pointed out, 2020 has been a really crazy year, but there are still ways that you can advance yourself. There's a term that they call massive open online courses, or MOOC, MOOC. These are opportunities online where big companies, IBM, Microsoft, Google, and well-known learning institutions, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, all of them have collaborated together to be able to offer courses online for free to help educate and retrain or train employees, candidates, and the general public to acquire new skills. You may be thinking, like, what do these types of skills include? They can be technical skills like WordPress, which is very important for most entrepreneurs. It can be financial management like QuickBooks. It can be organization and prioritization skills, which is a big factor in hiring managers and recruiters' decisions to be able to hire someone. If you feel that you're either deficient in any of these areas or you'd like to strengthen them, there are a plethora of open resources for free that not only will teach you these skills, but may also, in most cases, offer you a certification. You may be thinking, what is the value of a certification? Well, to be honest with you, certifications actually carry quite a bit of weight. There's reasons why people continue their education in the form of an online program or through certifications, because it's critical to be able to showcase your strengths. So, for example, I have a certification in human resources through SHRM, which is the Society of Human Resource Management, and HRCI, or Human Resources Certification Institute. I have a SPHR and a SHRM SCP. Through Toastmasters, I have a Distinguished Toastmasters certification. And I've also gone on and done other things through Google, and I've done other things through the SHRM program. Certifications are actually a great way to showcase how you'll be able to master those skills, either through training or through implementation. So if you're looking for a source of where you can get a great list of where I can go find some skills for free, visit my LinkedIn page. I just did a post yesterday that lists about 15 to 20 different resources. I've included Coursera, Udemy, Microsoft OpenSAP, Microsoft Learn, Google Digital Garage. There's a whole list of places that you can go. So visit my LinkedIn page, look for my post that's called Strengthening Your Skill Sets. And even if you don't, and you're still interested in finding opportunities to learn new skills, go to Google, type in free and online certifications or free online courses. You will find a plethora of opportunities for you to dig in, research, and identify what skill sets you'd like to add to your resume and to your professional prowess or repertoire so that you become a more advanced candidate for the next position. So we've talked about opportunities of where you can learn these skills, right? These are ways through the online medium and online platforms that people will teach you about the structure or about the technical aspects of WordPress or Microsoft, or QuickBooks or Intuit, any sort of technical or skill sets that you may need in the workplace. Now, the second question is, how do I take what I've learned and implement it so that I can develop it? Right? There's one thing to be able to say, yep, I've read a book, I've taken an online program for a week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks. I have the piece of paper that says, great, I know what I'm doing, but I'm not using it, right? I want to be able to say that now I can take these skills and apply it so that way it gets better. And for those of you that are still employed, have a comfortable job, there are still great opportunities for you to do that. So I'm going to talk about that category first, and then we're going to talk about what if you're in between jobs. So if you're currently working for an employer, and you are looking to say, hey, I just learned Microsoft Excel, right? I'm now no longer just a beginner. I'm actually intermediate or advanced. I can do VLOOKUP, and I can do all of these fancy tricks and tools. But in my current job today, it's not really something that I usually do. It's not something that's a daily ask of me. Well, there's a few ways that you can ask to be able to provide and develop your own skill sets while still providing to the company. Talk to your supervisor. Find out what your supervisor does that uses those skill sets. When I was a recruiter for Walmart, that was something that I did. I actually asked my supervisor at the time, I'm saying, hey, listen, in my world today, my job is client facing. I speak to candidates, I help facilitate relationships between candidates and hiring managers, and I work through the internal process that we have to help them go from candidate to associate. I do the onboarding, and that's great. But I don't really use Excel spreadsheets to the level that you do. You have to do a lot of analysis and you have to do a lot of projections. Can I help you with a particular project that doesn't violate confidentiality? That is a number one great way for your supervisor to know, hey, this guy or girl is a go-getter. And this person really wants to not only develop himself, but they also want to help alleviate my stress and at the same time showcase their skill sets. Great. Your supervisor, if you have a good relationship, will offset or outsource something off of her plate. She may say, great, Iqbal, I want you to do this for me, and we'll follow up in a week, and then we can work on that. Now, not only do you have access to a project that means something to the company, but it allows you to leverage your learning and apply it to something that's very professionally applicable. Outside of your direct supervisor, there are still opportunities within the company for you to be able to develop your skills, your newly learned skills or strengthening skills. There are employee resource groups or associate resource groups where based upon nationality, based upon sexual orientation, based upon religion. There are groups within companies that are looking to be able to bring in speakers. There are groups that are looking to start initiatives to be able to initiate conversations or advance, ideals. People are needed in those groups to be able to work on projects that are outside the norm. And at the same time, you are able to showcase your strengths and your skills by working towards a project or a mission that's impassionate to you. So when I used to belong to when I worked at Walmart, I actually belonged to about two different associate resource groups. One was APAN, which was the Asian Pacific American Network. And in that group, there were a lot of Indians, Pakistanis, Chinese, Korean, a variety of different Asian professionals. And in that process, what we would do is we would try to find higher level speakers to come in. Well, crafting a letter to be able to do that is one art. It's a skill set that you have to be able to be brief, concise, and professional at the same time. You also need to have a list of people that you are working on Excel, so you know that, hey, I've invited you in October, November, December, and you haven't responded. So do we elevate this request at a different capacity? Organization, prioritization, Excel spreadsheets, even event planning and logistics. Let's say a speaker at that point said, yes, I would love to come in. Now it was the project manager's responsibility to organize transportation, logistics, lodging, food, even for a 24-hour fly in, fly out. It was responsible. It was a necessity for us to be able to help them go through that process. Again, these sound slightly trivial. Like, what does this have to do with me? Let me tell you, companies cannot survive without some of these skill sets. And I find that it's very interesting in the conversations I have with my clients that they will pride themselves on the clinical knowledge, the technical skills, and the business skills that they believe the company cannot survive without, which is true. But without these elemental steps, a lot of these processes don't get done. So if you're working for a company, there's two ways that you can either develop the skills and showcase them, which is by asking your direct supervisor for helping them with a project that they're working on that's specific for your skill sets, or working with the associate resource groups and employee resource groups as well. Let's say, for example, on the other side, you're in between jobs. Right. And this is, of course, very prominent now in the world because of COVID and pandemic. A lot of things have changed. And even besides that, people have moved on and are looking for something with just something that's more of a cultural fit for them. If you are in between positions, if you're in between jobs, there are lots of organizations today that can leverage and use your skill sets to help them advance their goals as well. I can, for whatever you would be interested in, right? For me, Toastmasters International was a phenomenal opportunity for me to showcase my communication skills and my leadership skills. But what I didn't expect was that it was going to help strengthen my prioritization skills, my technology skills, my event planning skills. I know Barbara is listening in on this, and she can attest to a lot of the different things that we had to pull together. Whenever you would think about, as a district leader, we had to try and put together four district-wide events. That's 7,200 people that you're inviting to attend an event 4 times a year, plus all of the different speech competitions, the logistics that go behind it, the food, the event, the advertising, the marketing, which is also another skill set. You may not think that it's like that amazing, but I can tell you without beyond the shadow of a doubt that those are skill sets that organizations today need very, very badly. If you are not interested in Toastmasters, maybe you have a passion for helping animals, right? There's SPCA, there's PAWS, there's a lot of different organizations here in the Chicagoland area, but also across the country. American Red Cross, Feeding America. Everyone needs these skill sets, and they need people to be able to help out in their mission. You may not exactly know what skill sets you need, but I can tell you this. If you volunteer for an organization for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you will be able to strengthen your skills, articulate what impact you had at that organization, and the number of people that were the beneficiaries of your skill sets, and put that on a resume. Because I can tell you this, if you are looking to advance your career, telling somebody that you were able to provide logistical expertise to an organization that feeds 10,000 people every week and be able to resource and do fundraising, I can guarantee you that someone's eyebrows are going to go up and they're going to say, let's talk to her. So volunteering for an organization will help you develop those skills that you may already have, or learn new skills that you may not even be aware of. And then over the course of time, you'll be able to articulate that in a way. Now, the last piece I want to talk about is going to be about showcasing them officially, personally, professionally on a resume, right? The key here is to understand what job that you're applying to and what skill sets are required. Now, there's not a big flashing banner on most job applications that say, hey, if you don't have a high level of, Microsoft Excel skills or Word skills or prioritization skills, don't apply. It's something that you have to be able to read through a job description. It's what I do for my clients all the time. And I think it's critical that when we understand how we articulate what we do, it must match what the employer is looking for. So, for example, if you're a pharmacist like I am and you're looking to apply for a job, yes, the expectation is that you know how to do drug utilization review. You know how to match up drugs. You know how to identify drug errors. You can counsel. You can do immunizations. Those are things that are I'm expecting of you as a healthcare professional. But if you're applying for one of my jobs, I'm going to expect you to be able to handle conflict or resolve conflict. Do scheduling, right? Increase profit for the company I work for, be able to hire, interview, schedule, do these things that may sound very trivial, right? And articulating them in a way that allows you to be able to say, hey, this is what I've done in the past. These are the results that came from my activity, and this is the impact that it left on the organization, right? It's a very three-part process that is critical for you to be able to showcase these skills. Again, for me and even for all the entrepreneurs that are watching today, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you may be thinking, hey, I'm really good at travel, helping people relax and do things for them to help them travel more, or I'm very good at accounting. I can do all these accounting skills. But as an entrepreneur, you need to be really good at sales and marketing. So how do you showcase that, right? When you're trying to attract new clients, your job is to be able to reflect on what you've done, how you did it, what the outcome was, and what came of it, right? So I would strongly encourage you to be able to look at these different aspects of how you can brand yourself and also develop those skill sets that you need. I know we've talked about a lot of different things, and I certainly want you to feel comfortable being able to ask me questions either through this platform by reaching out to me directly or Barbara at the email address that she had provided. One of the things that I think is very critical, however, is that as we start to approach 2021, and I'm going to go back to what Barbara was saying because this is so critical. Barbara talked about the fact that we only have like about 9 days left in 2020. And if you're thinking about what your goals were at the beginning of the year and you're just checking in now to be able to recognize, hey, did I achieve my goals? Number one, don't panic. Don't freak out if you feel that there's a disparity between what you set out to do and where you are today. Why? Because you still have 9 days left. And you might think, it's 9 days out of 365. What am I going to be able to accomplish? Let me tell you, 9 days is a lot of time. And you can still at least achieve some, if not all of the goals. And pushing yourself forward in each of these areas is going to be critical. So if you feel that you haven't either developed a new skill sets, or you think that you should be able to advance yourself professionally speaking by maybe getting a certification, again, go and do that. You can probably spend one weekend and knock out 2 or 3 training programs, again, all for free online, and be able to showcase that with a certification. Again, there's a lot of information here. I know that there's going to be questions, and I certainly encourage you to engage with me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, even on Twitter, but certainly as well as here. Barbara, again, I always appreciate the opportunity. Again, for those of you that are just watching or enjoyed this video, my name is Iqbal Acha, and until next time, I'm wishing you nothing but success.
Now you know it wouldn't be right if I wasn't on mute. You know that. That's the new thing, huh? Well, in 2021, I'm going to create a habit, and it's going to be me not being on mute anymore. So I put it out there. Everybody heard it. That's what's going to happen. So make me accountable. Make me accountable, and we'll work on that. See, and this just shows that we're always working on things in our lives, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. The thing that would be wrong is if you don't see that there is something that you need to work on and you keep telling yourself over again in your mind like, I'm okay, but no, some things you might not be okay, and some things you might have to tweak and change. Just admit it, nothing's wrong, and then move forward in it. I always tell people that, especially my young people that I talk to. I says nothing wrong with admitting that you don't know certain things or you need to learn certain things. I get really concerned when they do the opposite and they say that little word that I just this is it's a pet peeve of mine when they say, I know, I know. And I want to say so bad, you don't know. You just don't know. That just irks me. I don't know. And it's like this, it just like there's an automatic from their brain that they just have to say, I know, I know. And now, before I used to be like, okay, now it's like I got both. Maybe because I'm older. I'll be like, no, you don't know. I've been here longer than you. You need to listen. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from what I went through. That's all I tell people. So with that, I wanted today to bring some ideas and thoughts since it is the holiday coming around the corner, really around the corner. I want to just give a few ideas if you're still having some thoughts of what could you do for Christmas. I mean, for the holidays. I know with us being virtual now, and I know people are probably like, if I got to see another Zoom meeting or conference or whatever, I know you want to scream, and I get that, and I get that. So I say, let me find some things that will kind of help you think of some ideas more so than getting on Zoom. Now, I do have one that has a Zoom thing, but let me just give you some things to think about. And then I'm going to bring on a special guest that I really asked to come on because, and I'll tell you about her in a minute because I want to just really tell you how awesome, amazing she is. And I don't want to take that away from what I'm about to say here. So let me give you some ideas and thoughts. So the first thing, if you have children, I found out, and I should have looked at the website, but I found out that you could, and I know this is Zoom, you can hop on a call on Zoom with Santa, and you can have up to, they said, three of your children if you have more than three, and you can talk to him. They'll make it like they're talking to him directly, like they're sitting on his lap, and then, the kids are telling him what they want. And I know there's a little charge for it, but you get the video, after everything's done, and you get the video, and then they have like Merry Christmas on there to kind of do it, do some things with it, and then you keep it for memories. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know there's like I think it's a $25, $50 charge for it. But, what can you say about memories when it's talking about your children? I mean, you have to, we all go the extra miles. We know. I mean, I don't have my own kids, but I have godchildren and they have children. And, you can't help yourself, but just do a little extra for your children. So I think, with the holidays and everything, having that memory of your children talking to Santa and, since, you don't want to take a chance going out there in person, you could do it virtually. So that's one thing. Another thing, now this is what I call old school stuff to do. Get some board games, some puzzles, old ones like Monopoly. I know that's like the norm, but there's one called, I don't know if a lot of people remember, called Sorry. There's one that I played. I think it was one called Rat Race or something. I don't know. Somebody was telling me that the other day. And I used to play. I don't even know if they still sell them. Operation with the guy, the dog guy operation. You get to take out the little his items in the bag. So and if you touch the side of it, go bzz, bzz, and then that means okay, you have to pass to the next player, and they have to try to take out whatever body parts he has. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but that's just get. See, you know what? With that, you get together with family. You're off the computer. You're off the computer, and you're doing things with family. When you're doing the board games or the puzzles. Or just have charades. Play charades. I mean, just some fun things that you can do. And then another thing I have is look at some inspirational movies or Christmas movies. I say inspirational too because maybe some people don't celebrate Christmas, and I don't want to make sure I just go into one category, but something inspirational that will pull you and pull your heartstrings and say, you know what? this is a day for us to celebrate just life. Not just, I mean, you know me, I just don't say one day. I know we're celebrating on the 25th. A lot of people are in the world, but just bring some inspirational. I think that's what's needed right now. And make sure there's love in there because we need to show that love more and more and more. It's just so important right now than any other day. It's really important right now to show that love. So those are just three things that I had that I kind of looked up. I have some more, but I'm going to save that for Wednesday's day to give you some more. But yeah, just think about some things. I just wanted to give some tips because I know that right now it's a little bit different this year because of what we're dealing with in the world. But that doesn't have to stop us from really having fun, showing love, getting with family if it's virtual or if you have family members at home, and just just get together. And the biggest thing I ask for everybody to do is communicate, talk to each other. I know it's rough right now. If you're not feeling yourself, if you're feeling a little bit like sad or whatever, talk to the people around you. We are here for you. I'm here for you. So just please just reach out. Please reach out. Just know that somebody's there to talk to. Now, my special guest. I gotta bring the special guest, but before that, I gotta go to my sponsors. So we'll be right back. Yes, yes, yes. So with that, I want to show a clip because with my special guest, her name is Tamara Huntersey. She's awesome, amazing, wonderful. She's the queen. I just get so excited when we talk to each other. But she just had an awesome give-a-thon called the Tour of Love. And I want to show a clip of the commercial. Then I'm going to bring her on because we want to talk. I want to talk to her about basically, there's always some things that's happening. She's always doing some things, some other things. And I want to talk a little bit about what happened with that give-a-thon. And please make sure that, just because it was that 36-hour give-a-thon, that doesn't mean they're still not looking for money. So we want to make sure that we continue to, express how much is needed, not just the money, but volunteers. So let me give you a little clip of the commercial, then we'll bring the queen on.
What the world needs now is love. In the spirit of the 60s, this 36-hour non-stop event reaching 80 million screens on E360 TV. This is the Tour of Love. Showcasing top Billboard artists, comedians, including the Guinness World Record fastest talker.
Stop.
You have set the Guinness Book of World Records.
And special tributes.
What's for supper? Baked possum and sweet potatoes.
A huge cast of talent. We're all coming together to support all those experiencing the impact of cancer. So join us November 30th on E360 TV and a multitude of other platforms. This is your invitation. We're changing lives, changing the world. This is the Tour of Love.
Good morning.
Good morning, lady. I am so, first of all, this is an honor because, I'm very authentic. I know I kind of tapped you real quick this morning to ask you to come on to the show. And I was going to have you come on anyway. But I know you've been so busy after the Tour of Love, getting the videos, making sure, sponsors. There's the mug. She has it there. And all that, all the stuff that you have to do after the fact. But I said, you know what? This would be a good time if she's available, and you were available, thank you, to come on and just talk a little bit about like the after and what's moving forward, because I know you have a lot of things that's going to come.
Oh yeah. In fact, so many more than even I saw coming. And I want to recognize you, first of all, Barbara, because not only was I live the full 36 hours, You were too. Everyone in the world, I need you to understand that when I was on air, Barbara was in the digital green room, if you will. She was running the show. And because anytime you do anything live, and we right now are at such an amazing time in history when it comes to streaming live and TV versus internet versus cable and all of that. And 3 years ago, I went live for 24 hours. And at that time, put the intention out there that we would be the next Jerry Lewis telethon. Well, who's we? We are a nonprofit 501c3 that is supporting a community of people that are affected by cancer. And we're talking the community, we're talking those that are the patient, and also those people that love and support the patient. And when you look at the statistics, we are global, that's basically everyone in the world. It's huge. And what we are taking out there is something that science now has completely proven can make a difference. And that is as simple as what we call buddies. There are so many amazing nonprofits that are out there raising money for the cures, and we need them. Yes, we do. However, the people that we're curing, they need the love in the community. And there really hasn't been anything like what we have now created, and you are very much involved with it. I thank you so much, Barbara. We now have created something that works. It's working. And I could get weepy over it because I think of all the people that it's helping. And I also think of all the people that have no idea that we're out there yet. And that is why the Tour of Love. That's why I'm working like I am to take this message out there. We had an incredible team of people that came together. Incredible. Top at every level of what they do. And we had incredible talent and education and so much more content that we had prepared. The one and only thing that ended up happening is that when you go live, technology can kind of get in the way. And we had a little of that happen, a few hiccups. However, the good news is that we are now taking care of cleaning up some of the hiccups. And so that when we're done, the full 36 hours of content is completely going to be incredible. And it will educate all of you out there to say, okay, what is this all about? Well, you'll be able to actually go and find out and be entertained and have your heart touched and giggle a little bit, cry probably a lot, and also realize that there is a resource now that is here for you, for all of you. And so, yes, this is our fundraiser, and we had some technical issues receiving the donations. And so now I believe we've gotten that taken care of. So please, if you were going to be inspired to donate, yes, please do, because this community, we have programs and we have the delivery systems now, and we have the volunteers. We can use a lot more, yes. So that's what it's all about. We will be watching for announcements in regards to the Tour of Love 36 Hours. Plus, as you know, because you were on the very first show, this nonprofit has now sponsored a show, the Tour of Love show, that is airing on Sundays on E360 TV on the Positive Vibration channel. And it's at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So Thus, yes, shameful plug, we've got merchandise at a store, cb4l.store, and you can go get some fun mugs and grab your favorite beverage in the morning at 9 o'clock and come and join us. Find out more about what this community is doing, because we are healing through connections. And it doesn't matter what type of treatment someone decides to go for. Our name actually is going through a change. That's why we have branded now cb4l.org. Originally, I'm one of the two buddies, and I did go through chemotherapy. So thus, the name originally started as Chemo Buddies for Life. However, we are going through name change. And this program, this show, this Sunday morning show is going to be sharing how we can heal through music, how we can heal through art, how we can heal through science and nature, how we can heal through buddies and connections. So I'm so excited. Thank you for staying up with me. This woman is a hero. I had the Service Hero show. Oh my goodness, she is a hero. She kept me going. And there was a few moments in the middle of the night that I was kind of wondering. I'm like, Barbara, I think I need to sit on the floor. I need to lay on the floor here for a second. And then the internet, my internet went out.
I said, this queen, she was just for 36 hours. I mean, I just commend you. You do this every year, and I know it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm just glad that people came to volunteer to help you, push through this give-a-thon, because it's so important. Because I always tell people, when you put it's not about you, and it's about the people that need, the buddies that, and we need the money to come in to help them. That's when you get all the hearts to come in and say, okay, I'm here for you, Tamara. We're here. We're going to do it with you. So I'm just glad. First of all, I commend you so much. I call you Queen. Queen. Queen.
Thank you for that. I still,
You gotta get used to it.
I still, I'm accepting it very humbly, because I know it's with love, and I appreciate that, because
totally love. So I just wanted to, I want you to come on, and I want to bring you back, because there's some other things I know that you're doing within the platform, and some really good things that's happening in the Tour of Love. This is not just that give-a-thon, but I mean, this is something that's moving forward in different areas that Tamara's working on. So I want to make sure that, on this show too, that people know what's going on so they can be a part of it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I want also people to understand that this is the holiday season, and I loved what you were talking about. And yes, Operation is still something you can play. I'm a nana. You play that. I love it. And board games, one of our favorite things to do. And however, please remember this. This is the holidays. And I reached out to Barbara this morning, and we were planning, because especially right now with COVID, anybody that already was feeling isolated and alone, and possibly because of the whole being diagnosed with cancer, we've also opened our hearts and our arms to those that have been affected by COVID and some of the others, because right now more than ever, we need to come together, and we can, and we are. And so please, if you are feeling isolated and alone, on Facebook, come to the community. We are again getting our daily chat together, and I will show up every single night at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern in that chat. And if nothing else, I'll talk to myself if I need to, but you know what? Our buddies show up, and this is a place where it's protected, and you can talk openly about how you're feeling. And the love that is shared in there is incredible. It's special. It's unique. We protect it, and we will always. And I invite anyone right now that is in need of a huge dose of love and some laughter and hope and heart and virtual hugs too, and a lot of love, come to the Chemo Buddies for Life community. It's a group, closed group. So you go to the Chemo Buddies for Life page, Chemo Buddies for Life page, go to the group, go to Chemo Buddies for Life community and join. We'll ask you a couple of questions, and you must keep it safe.
Confidential. Just keep it
Yeah,
safe.
yeah. And then we will be live also on Christmas, New Year's Eve. We'll be there together. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have
We
some
are.
fun.
Yeah, we did it last year and it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody come on. Even if they want to dress up a little bit for New Year's Eve, be online. Hey, do what you do. Let's have a little fun. Let's not let this
That's
stop us. Let the pandemic stop us from having some fun and show the
yeah,
love. So thank you,
absolutely.
Tamara, for coming on. I appreciate you so
Thank
much.
you.
We will see you soon to get you on again and talk about some good stuff that's happening in the community.
Okay, thank you so very much for everything you do. Love you.
Bye. I told you she is the queen. I love her so much. And she will be coming on. I'm going to be talking to her because I really want to come on more to show what's going on within the community. I believe in it. I'm a volunteer. It's my heart to serve within the community. And it's just so important. I mean, Tamara, she's a cancer conqueror. I call us conquerors, not just survivors. I look at us as conquerors because, we conquered. I always say we kick cancer in the butt, kick it to the curb, like me and Tim we always say, because we don't give that energy. We don't want to give the energy to the cancer because it's not us. That's not a part of us. That's not who we are. And I always explain to people that is not us. It's just something that we have to deal with, a challenge in our bodies that right now we're pushing through it, but it's not who we are. My name is not Barbara Cancer Beckley, and Tamara's name is not Tamara Cancer Hunter. We have our names and we deal with it. That's why we say we're conquerors, because we're conquering through it. And we want to make sure that we're here for others that are dealing with it, that find out that they have cancer through their journey, through the beginning, through the middle, through the end, if they're in remission. We're here for you, CB4L. So remember, I'm still having it down there because I want you to reach out. If you want to be a volunteer, if you want to be that buddy to help others get through that, if you want, to give money towards it, that is so welcome too, because anything that goes on in life, it takes money. It takes money to move forward, and this organization is really helping so many people nonprofitly. So if you can do either or both, we would really appreciate it. So with that, I just want to tell everybody, have a happy, let's see, not motivated, but I'll say, I'm trying to think of another word because everybody always says motivational Monday. Um, just have a good Monday. I'll just keep it at that. I'll make it simple today. Just have a good Monday. Remember, I'll be back on Wednesday. We have Mr. Barry Mixon coming on, talk about the jewels and gems and the value of you. And then I'll have another special guest coming on Wednesday. And I will be on Friday. I know a lot of people ask me, well, it's Christmas. Are you coming on? Yes, I'm coming on Christmas morning. I need to spend it with the lovely people out there in Facebook land or wherever you're at, just to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And I'll have some goodies on that day too, but I'm not going to tell you. It's a surprise, like a gift that you get. So I'll let you just think about that. But with that, as I always say, please just keep shining like that diamond. I always say, remember your PPD, that's your purpose, passion, and drive in you, because it's so important, because that's what makes who you are. You are unique, and that uniqueness is so important. And when you give it to the world, we are all blessed with it. And also, not just helping yourself, but you help others with your gift. So just keep shining like that diamond. And I will see you on Wednesday.